is great, right? They've been doing this as a region for many, many years and just couldn't quite get it sort of pre-COVID and whatnot when they were playing at the international lands. They'd always be good for a little map here or there, and then they just kind of disappear for the rest of the tournament. So it's good to see that consistency coming out, and very much unexpected coming into this tournament as well, because domestically they've not been doing as well as we would expect. But now you're up against the big boss. It's a very, very different kind of game. And of course, as we get into the action, Spirit going to be starting off on this T side, so I worry immediately for TYLOO.
I gotta say, I love that early call by Spirit of just go straight in towards A main. They don't realize that the site was completely open. They could have walked all the way in, no contact, and got the bomb down, right? But instead, they go towards main. They don't spot or hear anything. They call for a pause, they retract, it looks like they're grouping towards B. It actually feels like TYLOO have read this quite well. They understand that Spirit do like to finish towards this B site and the pistol rounds, and in they come. Donk gonna lead the charge as expected. It's Mercury with the jewelries up close. 180, catches Chopper, just trying to buy a bit of time as Shiro delivers Molotov down and shooting through the flames, and Mercury nails 2 more. Shiro and Magic's onto back, but a 2 versus 2 make that 1. Very quickly, Shiro left all alone, but bomb on his back, P250, and an open A bomb site.
You cannot be serious, Mercury. That is crazy. He's lit it up on B. And may well have just given them a chance. Shiro on the P250. Bit of raid boss business. Peeks out, spots 1. Will he confirm this bomb plant? The answer is yes, so get that in at the very least. And he's ready for this fight, of course. He just doesn't quite know where the second player is, so let's put him off ever so slightly. They will get the better of him in the end. Defuse comes in and TYLOO take the pistol.
Mercury masterclass right there as well. Brilliant work. Julie's head on a swivel, back and forth, and he just nails 3 incredibly difficult shots as well. 2 of which in the flames, which is all the more impressive. So really well done from TYLOO. The real unfortunate thing for Spirit there is just they overcomplicate that round massively, right? We saw them push in towards A main. They get a bit of control. They don't actually look to see what the A main presence is looking like, and then realize that no one's there. They could have walked all the way through, and no one would have seen them until that bomb was all the way down. The only player they had was a mid-camera player. But TYLOO, they get let off quite nicely in a sense there, and, well, that will be that. But a tech pause. Looks like we've got some sort of issue. Hopefully only a brief one. You never know. Headphones are off, so I'm assuming it's something to do with the sound. But it didn't affect them winning or losing that round. That's all that matters.
This is true. Can still click pretty effectively. G, he loves a camera, mate.
He does.
And he knows. He's figured it out. You know, when the red light is on, that means it's filming, you know? So he's certainly figured out where to look at what time. I'll give him that.
Well, looks like, I'm assuming with the headphones going back on, he hasn't got the in-ears in, so that's normally a mic check. A little mic check. That's good. Yep. All right, there we go. We've been here before. You get it. In-ears are going back in, though, so we understand it. It's going live soon.
Do you reckon, is there any way you'd be able to play like without in-ears? Because that's, I think I've told you this before, but like I really do not get on with them.
Oh, I feel hate like them. You know, I'm horrible.
Trying to become a pro player.
Do you know what?
A bit late now, but let's say in an alternate universe, you know.
I'm actually pretty sure, I don't quote me on this, I know there's been tournaments in the past where it's actually mandatory.
Yeah.
In some ways. I know you can obviously use those headphones, but
it's got to add to like the noise cancellation factor, right? Like when you've got them in your ears, the sound of the game is just kind of so much stronger.
I guess it's probably just like a slight fix. Do you remember the back in the day, the old double headphones that people used to use, one for the mic, one? Yeah, that was a bit of a classic as well. The round went live, by the way, and G was still like putting his in-ears in. He was like not ready at all, so they had to kind of pull this one back to the start. G was far from ready to go, but yeah, I've tried a couple of in-ears and I've not been huge fans of them. But from what I've heard, the way to sort of go about it is molded ones.
Yeah,
that's what people say, because then they actually obviously fit. But like, you know, like
also
in ears, like when they have, I don't even know what you call it, like the kind of like squishy, like rubbery, like tip or whatever. Like those are so uncomfortable in my ears.
Yeah,
they don't ever stay in.
And I have like, my right ear canal, I guess, is just tiny, and it just always like pushes them out. That being said, right, I've started running a bit at the gym, and I can't have, you know, the big bulky overhead ones.
Right.
So I bought like some cheap sort of running safely in-ears, but what they have is like, you know, the plastic arm that goes over your actual ear.
Okay.
And that's a lot better. That is a lot better. I don't know that they're still staying in well, but they like stay on my ear, and I can still.
Sure.
I'm just after a bit of music or whatever.
Yeah, I feel you.
So if it's some, and G's got a bit of that going on. You know, it wraps around the back of your ear.
Yeah.
And it goes in.
Yeah. I'm just an AirPods.
I did try them. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that like there's some that are really good. I did try like sort of in-ear monitors for casting as well.
Oh yeah.
Just because it maybe looks a little bit cleaner on camera. I know that Yumi is a big proponent, and he uses them. I don't know if he still does, but he definitely did for a long time.
I think he still does. Yeah.
I just couldn't get on with them. You know what I mean? Like every 2 minutes, I'd be like taking it out and touching my ear, and then like it's just not the vibe when you're trying to focus on the game.
No, not at all. We're in with a little tiny investment for Spirit here, but we've gone for just a couple of upgraded pistols, basically. In a couple of cases, addition Donk, we've got the half armor. You're looking for a bomb plant in this sort of situation. The MP9 up close. This could get a little messy, but actually, well done. Just to shut it down. Mercury and G playing in through water. Good early control that was gained. And they just do a solid job of making sure that there's not too much of a conversation around it. They're testing Shiro and that Deagle, but it's Mosea in for the big flank. He runs out of ammo, so he has to pull out his pistol. Thankfully, Mercury bails him out. 2-0 start. Nice and easy. That's what we want to see for TYLOO. And this is, you know, coming back to that Eternal Fire game, right? Where I think Eternal Fire came in and they were just running through the motions without really deep in the situation a little bit. And TYLOO were able to capitalize upon that. They've actually got some nice ideas on Anubis. It feels like maybe the map pool as a whole is a little weaker, a little more kind of flimsy in a sense, but that's going to happen when you're a team that are on this rebuild and you've got new players slotting in and out and new IGLs and all the rest. But the Anubis really does actually feel quite solid.
Yeah, well, you and I know that in the Asian region, after casting a lot of ECL, this is a really popular map. It has been for a couple of years. So I think, you know, maybe TYLOO get a lot of opportunities to get those official reps in and test their style and, you know, see how it feels at the very least. You know, your opponents are going to be pretty different once you come onto the international stage. But thus far, as well, I think it has gone perfectly. Surviving that half buy is a pretty good omen. You can see at the end of the round, Mercury in the middle, just pretty, you know, a little smile on his face, pretty happy with how it's gone, because yeah, this could get very messy in those low buy rounds when you've got players like Donk just able to take your head at any moment. But first rifle, also not too much action just yet. Spirit, I think, have been indeed shown the respect, trying to show it themselves. And those are the peaks that you're not going to get away with in a game like this. I tell you what, G and Jamyun go down early. Mosea joins, and that'll be a save for the B players.
God damn, you can't swing Donk like that. That is on a platter for him. He will take those every day of the week. He's so crisp. You can't make mistakes like that. And, of course, this is a bonus round for TYLOO, so it's not the end of the world that this is a round lost, but you would have liked to have at least made it a little expensive. Get a couple of kills here or there, put a bit of pressure on in some regard, but not to be. So Attacker will save that MP9, and it will be Mercury saving the M4, and even then, there's still the potential of a kill towards the tail end. I think in particular, just make sure this rifle, the M4, stays afloat. Attacker can buy back in a worst case scenario, and so can everybody for TYLOO. That was a bonus, as we say, so it's not the end of the world losing it. You just want to put some pressure on for your own confidence, and it does worry you a little bit when you get the first gun round come out for Spirit and they immediately shut it down, and flawlessly too. There it is, G. He wanted to fight, and I understand because he hears the steps. So he's thinking, I can maybe catch them off guard here, but Donk so aware in that spot. 2-1. TYLOO back in with a buy of their own. G on the AWP. First one brought out in the server. The one advantage you'll have over Shiro here.
Yeah, we're going to find out. They have to answer back. That last one was pretty easy for Spirit. The kills came to them. Oh, close on the spray down. Not able to find it through the smoke. Just keeping the presence at the moment is Donk. It does seem to be more of a B lean. They fancy the B play. Is there any way they can find this first frag? TYLOO, a little more disciplined in this round, I think, realizing that they potentially were testing the water in the previous with what they could get away with. The answer is absolutely nothing. So, yeah, much slower moving round here.
Donk waiting behind that molly. Minute to work with. Mercury going to be tested. Has to come up huge, and Chopper on the swing. Big fight. Looks for a second, and it's Donk who nails it. I mean, this is brilliant on the entries towards B. Nothing that can be done. Labored from Shiro, however, and Jamyoung might have an opportunity, which he does capitalize upon. Donk will catch him on the trade, but a tough, really tough 2 versus 3. And honestly, I don't think they're giving this one a go. Not with an AWP, and Mosaic barely alive.
This is exactly the kind of game that Donk wants as well, right? You're playing against a team that you are the overdogs in, but also they're a team that are unafraid to fight you, unafraid to hold open angles. Maybe the Donk effect has not quite made it all the way across the globe quite yet, but after this game, I'm sure they will see him in their nightmares. But yeah, true. Another really clean round from him.
It's like the one style of play that you don't want to really use against Donk, where it's like, okay, you've got to be able to hit your shots. That in itself obviously has its worries because Donk is so damn crisp. So far, so good. Do have a couple of guns saved though for TYLOO, so that is a saving grace to a degree, but Chopper relentless on the entries as always, and yeah, Donk's going to want to fight. If you gift him those, he will take them. Never going to miss shots like that. 2-all. TYLOO, we can rebuy back in. Got MP9 for attacker. Double M4 AK and the AWP still in play for G. So it's not all doom and gloom just yet. I love this from Jamyoung. Oh my god. Look at the aggression and the aggression out towards B as well. But it's magic she finds Mercury. At the same time, they fall away. Mosaic leaves Mercury alone. Jamyoung was alone in mid. So that's 2 early fights given over in a matter of moments.
TYLOO maybe trying to mix it up. And again, it does not work. They've done well from an econ perspective to keep these buys coming in, but I think finally the cash might just run out. Yes, there is a save here on the card. Still not really confirmed. We're very early on in the round, so they could get discovered, but yeah, it's just not really looking too good for the next. G out in front. Shiro around that corner is slowly moving forward. Takes the peek. That looked like he was behind the wall to me, but G lands the shot all the same. Classic Counter-Strike moment. 3 versus 3 all of a sudden here now.
Yeah, there's something. Something on the cards. Donk wants to try and get a bit of a proactive post-bomb position. So he'll test himself and the Angels, and he, of course, nails that shot on attack. It's so easy for him. Also, it's absolutely excellent. It's a great nade as well. He's going to get another shot behind it. Can't find the third, but arguably job done now. 1 versus 2. Mosai's less than half HP to that nade. I think this round's just got to be done. He's got to keep hold of what he can. The AWP. That will be that. And that's the beautiful thing about Spirit. They can make hard rounds stick when it feels like they're up in the air a little bit. Really well done.
Bomb goes off. It's a big test in the middle of that round from Spirit, and they do manage to pass it. So, you know, everything looking green at the moment. Bits of paper are out. I'm always curious to know what they say. How do we feel about the breathing strips? I know they're starting to slowly but surely catch on. I see a lot of people while exercising for sure, wearing them at the moment.
I don't hate the idea behind it, right? I feel like, you know, some people, if you have, I forget what that thing is, it like a deviated septum? Is that the one? Yeah. And that means, like, you know, you like can't breathe as well. I can understand it. I can breathe pretty well from my nose, so I don't think I need it, but I might try it just to see.
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Just to see how much air I can get through, but
yeah, apparently I think it really opens it up.
It make you think a little bit better as well, because you get more oxygen to your brain and this, that, and the other. So, you know, if your IGL wants to think better, that's a good sign. So I can kind of feel it. Now, they're going to get caught early, and they've already taken A control here. So this round is probably dead in the water. I mean, Chopper, anything on the backside with this Mac 10 is great money in hand for later rounds, but simple work. Shiro wants to catch the camera player and finally controls that spray. G hits a nice shot, but it's all about just prioritizing saving that AWP. Mercury will try and be a bit of a contact player, gain information, slow them down on the hunt. But it won't make a difference. Spirit extend the lead to 2.
Should be able to hold on to the AWP. They're not really all that close, actually. So I think if he plays it correctly, yeah, but they're not after him all that much. So that's a big deal, because they are buying into the next. But I think the AWP would have been hard to pull out. Maybe a little bit of Jam Young droppage, but yeah, it's just nice to not have to think about it really, and try and get it in. He's not been looking too bad on that AWP, hitting some shots. We did see the nerves actually getting to him a little bit in that qualification game right at the tail end against FlyQuest. He was missing a few easier shots, so certainly, you know, great in the interviews, but what that tells us as minds and trained ears, he's quite an emotional player, you know, sure. And I think that therefore can make his game a little bit difficult when he lets those emotions get to him.
Yeah, agreed. Well, slowing down this game a little bit, taking a moment to converse. I think for TYLOO, they've probably got an understanding that within this series, they absolutely have to take Anubis. If they don't take Anubis, there's basically no chance, unfortunately. Nuke has been such a good map for Spirit, and I think especially at this level, it feels like it should be absolutely fine too. Water 2. This next buy for TYLOO is incredibly important. If this one falls flat, they're going to really struggle. But I do respect what TYLOO are doing. They are wanting to fight up against them. Mercury has gone deep in towards water. He's got support here as well. They want to get early fights out. They want to get early information, and they keep pushing smokes. And this is going to catch Spirit off guard. They're not used to this sort of brazen style of play. So utilize the weird and wonderful Asian Counter-Strike to its full extent.
Yeah, I think by now as well, Spirit are maybe expecting to have put the fear into TYLOO, but again, it's just not the case. They're always going to be a team that just stick to their game plan and play the game how they like. Mosaic, good spot here. Could be huge, in fact. Oh, he's pulled away. Kind of at the awkward moment. G does manage to trade him, but loses his life pretty quickly as well, and that's the kill. Jam Young needed to trade things out to keep the hope of holding A alive, and it's not the case. Donk with another catch on the cheeky angle, looking to end the round all by himself, and he will do just that. 4-piece for Donk and a 5th for Spirit.
Yeah. Honestly, this is where, again, for TYLOO, you see these small moments that go well for you, and you find gaps, but you just have to start to realize as quickly as that Spirit will completely take over a round, and a couple of individuals can just completely delete you. And Donk, they've got to find ways to shut him down, and this is the eternal thing. Head on hands there for G, and you can sort of understand why. I mean, I actually don't think he does that bad. He's stuck in a position on pillar, he gets one, and he repeats him for the second. He's, you know, you're a dead man either way. It's just whether you can get another before you fall. I don't think even his decision-making is really too bad there. Maybe you could kind of talk about his positioning at that point. If we've got like no A main presence, having somebody on pillar and somebody up close. So the close guy goes down, your pillar position's really under wraps. But I think TYLOO are starting to get that fear. The Donk factor is starting to come in full fruition here. Ollie down.
Yeah.
Mercury, a second Molotov as well. He's burning in it. He's trying to avoid it. There's no avoiding it. Oh my God. He takes 96 points of damage as he doesn't want to be caught on the spam either. So it was a real pick your poison. Do I die to the flames or to the AK bullets?
Yeah, that was nearly a little bit embarrassing, but like you say, he doesn't have many options available. Just that last little spread, wasn't it? He thought he was safe, and then it spread a bit more. Never safe from the fire, of course. Spam here is decent from both sides. Little bits of damage done. Donk will open, making himself known once again. We've got Moser on the M4 is the player to watch here. The only scary weapon for me, but I think he kind of maybe wants to hold on to it, or are we just sort of... Yeah, okay, we are going to save. For a second, it looked like they were working out the order at which they wanted to go in, maybe based on HP and weaponry, doing a little bit of a mathematical calculation, but the answer comes back, and it's actually an aggressive save here for those MP9s. Not really too much trouble if they're not in the next round, but it is this M4 that I think Moser would just like to keep.
Exactly. No point risking it or losing it towards the end. I mean, he is still in a position of fighting. Shoulder spotted. Oh, nails the shot, though, so fair play. Down goes Magix. It is Spirit, though, who have guaranteed bare minimum a tied game at the half, and where we're currently at, too. We're talking about how they probably just roll through the motions. I mean, at this rate, we're talking about they could very easily get anywhere in the region of sort of 8 to 9 rounds in this T side. That's just how smooth sailing this has been. Without that pistol round, TYLOO are non-existent in this map thus far. And unfortunately, that is the problem when you're a bit of an underdog playing against Spirit. They don't pull any punches. They don't really mess around. They are cutthroat all the way to the end. And that's what makes them such a top team. And TYLOO are really feeling it now. Their second time out as, you know, Joking wants to really try and find any form. I mean, if we can get anywhere in the region of like 4 or 5 rounds, 5 feels a little bit unlikely, but 4 rounds, just 2 more rounds for TYLOO, you know, a couple of like hiccup rounds across the line on these guns. If they can find that, it's actually still a somewhat doable position, but Spirit just looks so clean. They're not asleep at the moment by any means.
Yeah, I think TYLOO are not getting completely rolled. Scoreline might suggest differently, but, you know, the rounds feel like they have moments. However, the expectations coming true. Big Spirit. Big Donk in particular, man. He is just absolutely farming. And I think it may well be set to continue. TYLOO, though, back on a bye. No complaints in that regard. So you'd maybe hope that they can, again, make this competitive, but Spirit doing well here, I think, adjusting to the fact that TYLOO are not afraid to get aggressive, playing a pretty wide default, trying to catch some of that said aggression, and no need to rush things, you know? They still have pretty full belts of utility. Wind that clock down, go for a late round execute, and see what's up. They're faking A out a little bit, draw some attention over there. It's a contact at B. Attacker is in a good spot for it, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are safe. He's trying to reface, he goes down in dark, and they have wrapped successfully here. Spirit with a nice patient round, showing that they also can change up the pace. Yeah, I like this. They just wait for the opportunity to come to them. Bomb thrown across as well, just in cases. An AWP in particular is probably what you'd be more worried about, but it's anybody holding from CT, but a very, very simple one. And TYLOO would just shell up over towards the A side, keep hold of the rifles. 3 staying alive means a rebuy back in, regardless of the economic situation or the lost bonus or anything of the sorts. Only issue is, though, Spirit hunting. And I think this is the good call. I think you've got to hunt. You've got more than enough money to work with. Why not? And as the bars suggest, it feels like TYLOO in a bit of a jail right now as they cannot get out of this slump. Chopper on towards side. Dunk will get caught by Jamyung. Same for Chopper. So the first attempt at the hunt failed. Maybe Zontix might be able to get something behind this. Molly down. He wants to put somebody under pressure. Just one kill could make a difference to the economy, but he just couldn't find anybody. And a 7th for Spirit, rolling through the motions right now, and they are looking
so damn sick. Unfortunately for TYLOO, it's not a good showing thus far. They had some really nice upsets, but maybe it was because people were taking them for granted, and now they've managed to make it to stage 2. People aren't taking them for granted in this sense, right? I think they're really starting to be like, okay, these guys actually hit their shots. You know, Jamyong is crisp as hell. Mosaic has some really nice moments too. G hits some great shots. Let's not take the mick in this one, right? Let's actually do our proper prep for it, and so far so good. But a nice opener. Right, pushing out in towards water, A main control taken, and now they've got all of the control. A main and actually in towards mid as well. A very decent position to hold here.
Yeah, looking good.
Players.
G covers his man. I like this. It's a solid round. They've caught Spirit playing it a bit slow once again. Great flashes to open up, of course. This is where, yeah, you just got to be careful. Mosaic, even the idea of tempting that kind of a push is risky. So lucky that he gets the timing on it and does not take a stray bullet to the brain. But yeah, just to sort of pick up on what you're saying, I think it's the curse of the underdog, right? There comes a point where you stop being the underdog, really, and, you know, the Cinderella story and all that becomes a lot harder because, yeah, you turn a few heads. I think people have learned massively over the years not to continue underestimating teams, especially at majors, right? That's always where these teams make deep, deep runs. Round chills for just a moment. 20 seconds remain. G with another kill, so it's looking good here for TYLOO, but it is never over until it's over. Donk's still alive. Out with his homie Magis as well. These two guys usually work pretty well together, and you can see Donk is making it competitive. There's just about enough time for him to get it down. He's planting open. Surely they're able to find him. Yeah, and he hears them coming. He's got no ammo to fight. The round has to be conceded, but he brings it close. He does some damage. And a few more seconds in there, you never know what he might have achieved.
I will call a little pause, though, coming through, and I feel like in that scrappy, chaotic sort of carnage round, Spirit get a little taste of how wild TYLOO can play in that regards. I mean, credit to Donk, actually. Genuinely, that never should have been as close as it was. But, yeah, Spirit have got a few tricks up their sleeve. They can still play a weird style, and I think, understandably, they just want to shut it down here. Let's make sure we don't let this get out of hand. Let's make sure we don't give them any in-routes back in towards this game. I think, in particular, Hallie probably watched that round and the way it started and was just like, okay, this is something I've just got to eradicate immediately. We cannot let them just waltz in towards mid or waltz out of A main and make it look so simple. And I think probably part of the conversation that Hallie has to the team is just like, in these early rounds, can we just play guns up for a little bit? Like, they are going to push us like this, right? Let's just play guns up. We know they're going to want to swing. Be ready for it. But they're not ready for Mosaic, who gets a second. Can't find Shiro. But again, that's probably part of what Hallie's saying to the guys. Like, we need to be awake in these first 15, 20 seconds because they're going to want to swing. Yeah.
It's a large part of the TYLOO game is the can't believe they're doing that. How are they getting away with that? You know, type pushes. So you do just have to be a little bit ready. And the thing is, as well, they'll keep coming. We saw maybe in like round 8 or whatever, Spirit actually did hold on quite well to bits of aggression. They're obviously doing it relatively well here. It's not quite over just yet, but TYLOO are not a team that's like, ah, damn, the aggression didn't work. We're down a few rounds. Maybe we should just, you know, play a chill one and roll through the setups, roll through the regular motions. Nah, they'll be like, a few rounds later, they'll be like, let's just try again. It was close. If only I'd shot that guy better, we might have won the round, you know. So you can get caught thinking you're safe because you've already dealt with one of these pushers. Bomb goes down. Missed shot from G. Takes a lot of damage. Nade does not quite finish him off, so still standing. And it is, of course, where is Attacker, the next name of the game here. Missed shot from Shiro, and that one cost him his life. Sontix, at the very least, has got the information. He's covered off in a nice position. Molotov does not reach him. So he is able to sneak out behind them here. Smoke on the bomb does not help his case. They're going to go in for the hold. It's going to have to be 10 seconds, though. Oh, he can't find it. G takes him down. He was expecting to have a kit. I'm not sure it's time, though. It's going to be close. It is very, very close. So, yeah, absolutely perfect to the millisecond, 10-second hold. And G needed to find that kill.
My God, that was close. Jesus. Right down to the wire. TYLOO, it's a huge sigh of relief that they got over the line. But even then, well played. I mean, smoke on the bomb and a big push. Yeah. All right, let him know. Let him know. That's why he's become a bit of a fan favorite for exactly that sort of reason. Personality. I don't know, did you see the story that was on Twitter about G? About recently, sort of, for him?
I've seen some. I'm not sure which one.
Basically, there was one talking about how basically you sort of in Chinese culture, being humble and kind of, you know, quiet is generally like the way most people are, right? But he's a very bubbly character and he's got a great personality, and he actually got a lot of backlash for his personality being quite bubbly. You know, he like pull faces on camera sometimes. He's having a bit of fun, and he actually, especially when his performances weren't doing too well and TYLOO weren't doing too well, he actually got a lot of, you know, stick from people back in China, from fans and whatnot. And this, hence where the tears come from, right? Why he was so happy that things are kind of going well. And I'm glad. I love the personality that we get from him. It's such an infectious, sort of happy nature. So sick to see. This could be a little dicey. Shiro pushes the smoke on timing. As attacker and util in hand. So back to a 3 versus 3. Mosaic, Mercury, and G. Got a lot of heavy lifting to do in this one. G's had a fantastic game so far. Mosaic not bad himself. It's finding Chopper here, which could be all important if he can hit the shot, but he can't. Chopper. Good work, Molly down, and now it looks like they want to work towards A once again.
Yeah, there is presence here. The aforementioned G, the top fragger for TYLOO. But they are taking their time, just making them doubt themselves. Could it be a B play? Oh, nice find. Where's the rest? He's ready for more from camera. His head on the swivel, but unfortunately gets timed on. Well played by Spirit there to just grab a little freeze, and, you know, they know that he's likely to be alone and he has to be the hero. So he's going to play quick and panicked and checking different angles. Unfortunately, Mercury was kind of out in no man's land. Gets tagged up. I feel like you maybe just have to save this AK here, to be honest. But he's still... No, he's going to give it a go. It's the final round. What am I talking about? It's too early in the morning. All the Counter-Strike just flowing past me, man. I'm just casting the rounds, and Spirit winning them 8-4 at the turn of the half.
It's a very, very good half, right? I think Spirit have rolled through the motions so simply, I think, is probably the way to put it in this one. And I mean, where we're at right now as well for TYLOO, unfortunately, they've not had that much of an insight into towards this game, basically at all. And it's actually a really tough predicament that they're in. This is a series which requires them to find Anubis, and so far not so good. But it's T-side Anubis coming up next, and that's where TYLOO have done a lot of their best work. So it's not all doom and gloom just yet, hence why we saw Halley calling these quarters, making sure that this first half went well. And thankfully for them, it did. If TYLOO can find a pistol here, though, we might have a bit of a game on our hands. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to throw a little bit of a break. We'll see you after.
Yeah. 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 Ooh. Everything I want. Everything I need. Got everything I want.
Right, it is the second half. I'm aware of that now. I just kept an eye on the chat after, you know, forgetting it was the final round. Everyone's flaming me. That's fair, guys. You know, talk your shit. That's why you're there, I suppose. Yeah. You've got to just... It does. It's kind of like a bit of a caster classic of like, you know, you just cast into games, you caught up, and we don't get to cast Spirit all that often.
You're so in the flow. Yeah,
exactly. But we are here in the second half. Spirit looking good, of course. TYLOO with the 4 rounds, 2 of them off the back of the pistol, though it must be remembered. So when it came to the guns, they were dominated, it's safe to say.
Look at us flying like this, by the way. Shout out the observers one time. Love that.
Yeah, man. We got some nice pathing.
Pretty sure it says Jonas and Chev. Shout out the goats one time.
Think so, yeah, indeed. Oh, donk.
Speaking of goats.
Oh, I was ready for more. I was ready for more, but not going to happen. Man advantage into Spirit here. Maybe a retake on the cards? No. One gets dropped. It's Magic's looking clean. 2-piece from him. Mercury all alone. Up against 4. I don't think he's going to be expecting, from Dark so fast, but he scares them off. Looking to try and find this kill. Where is he at? Is the big question. Zontix gives him the fight. So wait just a second. We might be on.
Agree. Made it a 1 versus 2. Might be something still brewing here. He's figuring out, is there a better pistol for me to use in this engagement? He needs to get the bomb. And Magic's has looked crisp with these pistols. On for a quad. 35 seconds. He has to isolate, and it's just so difficult. How do we make this work? I actually think, going back for a USPS is probably be the right plan of action, and that's what he's going to do. Instant headshots for 20 seconds, so he's not got a lot of time here. These shots have got to be hit, man. He comes back for the fight, and he misses the first 15 seconds. The time, the clock stays above, and it's Magic's. He locks in that 4th kill. And Spirit find a 9th. Not a bad effort. And I'll give credit where it's due, but not good enough for TYLOO. Spirit getting that pistol feels like it should just lock in this map now, right? And arguably then even the series as well. I'm not going to discredit TYLOO or Nuke, but it's just a good map for Spirit. They've been very solid on it, and it's just 2 different sides in terms of their level right now, their ranking, and all of the rest. So no buy for TYLOO in this one. I've just also been updated. It's actually Jonas and Zark, so another go, and a UK go as well. So one of us, 3 UK on the B stream to start. We love to see it. Jonas could be honorary UK alongside us. Shiro, MP9 up close, could be the moneymaker here.
Maybe it's actually Chopper, who is indeed living up to his namesake. Only 1 for the MP9 in the end. A USP to close it out, but a very quick round, see it off. TYLOO will be looking for that early AK bite. Magic's looking a little sort of locked in, long-faced, you know? Not super excitable just yet. No celebrations till it's over, I suppose.
Okay. 10-4 of a 6-round buffer. I mean, honestly, you could even potentially say that this gun round is all important. If TYLOO lose this, probably no chance, if I'm being completely honest. That'd be money shattered, especially if they don't get a bomb plant too. And Spirit probably pushing all the way to map point. Running your opponent's map pick in this sort of a fashion, no less, is... it's pretty... expected maybe, but at the same time, you know, sad to see. TYLOO have become a little bit of a fan favorite, and I mean, this is such a tough matchup for them, and of course it's showing.
But this is a chance for them to keep themselves alive, I would assume here. Starts off very slowly. TYLOO not really looking to give anything. They've got some mid presence. That's about it. There was actually like a B main peak that came through from Spirit, but nobody around to even see it, let alone deal with it. However, Spirit have decided they didn't see anyone, so they're going to move the resources to A, which would be the incorrect call. It's a great little Molotov that holds them at bay. Will there be a rotation back? The answer at the moment is no, so it's Chopper on a FAMAS to defend. They're slowly making their way back around here on the Spirit side of things. So TYLOO have got a brief window to get into the bomb site and get that bomb planted. Chopper cancels. No, he doesn't. Sorry, it wasn't the planter that he was after. All the same, kills looking good here for Spirit. It's gotten a bit chaotic on the B bomb site. G has brought a couple back. Maybe indeed a clutch up available here to keep this post plant in their favor. Trade is instantaneous. Attacker on low HP, but it doesn't matter against the AWP. Shiro's got that news. He will swap weapons. The nade goes in. It doesn't quite reach. He's going to tap the bomb. An Attacker does not bite. Shiro could have gotten away with the full hold. Another tap. An Attacker does not bite. He's not fancying the fights. He's so very low, and he has absolutely mugged Shiro there, bro. Not peeking at all, and wins it out.
Yeah, super well played. That is a very, very experienced sort of approach that round, in specifically that post plant too. Don't give up anything for granted. And I think for Shiro, he's expecting or hoping at the very least that this is, you know, a player who's a little nervous or worried by the position that they're in. But not to be. Super well done. And TYLOO stay alive in this map for now. And that is the 1v1 played of somebody with a lot of experience in them. So well done. Doesn't bite, doesn't fall for the baits, and has such confidence in kind of what he's done and what he's trying to do. Impressive. Especially against a side like Spirit, no less. We buy back in both ways. Chopper, just the 5-7 for him. MP9 for Magix. But a Mac 10 and a couple of Galils, or a few Galils, I say, have to come to the table for TYLOO. So both sides taking somewhat of a hit in terms of investments. Something's playing anti. Wants to play in front here of this smoke. A second flash that comes through. He turns around a little slow there, so Mosaic will catch him.
It's also the lack of head armor, I think, that costs him. Mosaic somehow survives the fight against Shiro as well. So, look on his side. And it will net TYLOO another round. I think we are grouping up for a save here. Not going to happen in this round. Spirit know that. It's once again these aggressive kind of save moves, but all the same, TYLOO buying themselves some time here and indeed looking to bring things close at the moment, which again serves to be an achievement in and of itself. We're not quite fully sold on the full comeback, but maybe it could be the start of it.
Potentially TYLOO could be starting to deliver on something. Up to 6 now, 4 rounds of difference. And the fact that it's such a clean round as well. Maybe, just maybe. 3 staying alive for Spirit. In some cases, some teams do like to force buy around this. The only issue being is that for Spirit, they don't have the best gun saved anyway. You know, guns like MP9s being saved over. So it's not exactly something that you're maybe prioritizing a little bit. And also with the 5-7 for Chopper, they might actually be tempted for a lesser investment here. So I think this is probably the right call. If it was something like 2 rifles and MP9, that's when you attempt to force buy. 3 rifles, you're probably going to force buy around that. But 1 M4, 1 MP9 and 5-7, it's not the worst thing in the world to lose this. And for Shiro and Zontix, bring in literally nothing to the table bar a tiny bit of utility. And then a good start for Magix. Down he goes. That's the MP9 dropped. It's Shiro and a pistol to try and do something. And of course, nothing to come to the table, but Chopper on the swing with a find.
Yeah, hold on. The bomb's been dropped as well, so it'll buy time for the rotations. Chopper's looking for a bit more. They are desperate for a couple more kills. That M4 needs dropping. It will go down into the 1v1. Quick USP dink could get it done for Zontix.
Oh,
the nade a little close. Molotov to scare him off. It does indeed get close. Oh, it will spread, so he's going to be forced forwards here, and down he will go. Jamyoung's played it pretty well there to just keep his cool.
Oh my god, for a moment, that really felt like it could have been lost, but a cool head by Jamyoung. He does like a tag as well right at the tail end, so he very easily could have fallen flat in that Molotov, but Again, not to be. TYLOO slowly but surely getting back in towards this game. And we said they're going to do a lot of their best work when it comes towards the T side. And this is what's happening. Yeah, get fired up, boys. There's a game on our hands here. We're starting to see something. Back in towards the investment for Spirit. You lose this one, however, and that's where things become very interesting. We can talk about TYLOO being within 1 round of tying up this game. That would be wild.
It would indeed.
By the way,
they're not taking a leaf out of their book. They don't enjoy the aggression as much, it would seem, even when they are hemorrhaging rounds. So, yeah, TYLOO a little idiosyncratic in that sense. It didn't necessarily work out for them as well, I suppose, so I can see why maybe Spirit sticking to their own guns.
Yeah, gotta be said as well. Over on the A Street, they might be taking map number 1. Wild times. Over Vitality, that is. 13-7. So, spicy upset there, and we're sort of quietly hoping there might be the conversation of an upset here. Didn't feel like it at halfway. And it didn't feel like it at the start for Spirit 2, but 10-7 right now in a 4 versus 3 with Chopper being tagged up. Something's brewing. Nadal bank round, but attack is on the elevated angle. He does more damage. A big flank from Jamyoung. Swing and the final towards Shiro. That's the round. That's TYLOO up to an 8th now as Zontix will just keep hold of his M4. And Scriv, maybe we do have a game on our hands.
Maybe, just maybe. I mean, super clean round coming out. Very important for TYLOO. Arguably very important for Spirit as well. They will feel this one. The ripple of this round could be absolutely massive, actually. So, are they going to keep it going? Are Spirit going to figure things out? Will they come up with an aggressive round, maybe? That feels like the most obvious change-up they could go for at this stage. But, yeah, you're on the comeback. You win the hard round. Now you've got the quote-unquote easy one coming up. There's going to be a few deagles dotted in, and they can always be scary.
Whoa. Another time out, I think, might be coming to the table here. Starting to get, yeah, potentially a little tilting. Not just yet, but Harley re-enters the fray, understandably so. And this is the 3rd and final timeout by Spirit. Not many teams force them to use all 3. See Flames on the right as well. On a wonder by. Just wondering how this game's going. You might not realize that it's potentially a little closer than what many people would have expected.
Yeah.
Right.
I think even putting you under pressure is a pretty scary prospect.
A lot of people were saying that this could genuinely be like one of the most lopsided series we've had kind of, you know, the whole tournament so far, right? Where it could be single digit for TYLOO, you know, including both maps. I was seeing a couple of things on Twitter. They were expecting big things from Spirit. And yeah, I mean, TYLOO impressive so far. No two ways about it. And because we get a little bit of a half buy out here for Spirit, this is where this game could generally come down to a 1-round game, 10-9, if they can overcome just the 1 rifle.
No massive change-ups. I mean, just waiting to see what Spirit want to go for. They are stacking B, I suppose, is their gimmick of the round. Trying to just get the shoulders out on A as well. Chopper with the deep smoke. We'll keep them at bay. Unfortunately, for Spirit, it looks like it is going to be an A hit on the way. So, somewhat fair enough. And again, it comes into this conversation. We've been talking about it, you know, all week long while we've been on. Teams always seem to stack the wrong bomb site, bro. Like,
it happens.
It's just kind of wild how it works out.
Isaiah, flashed round, swinging a fine. Jamyoung also get one as well. Simple on the entries towards the A site. Still a little bit of presence here. 5-7 Ozontics, Nade trying to catch the bomb planted. Does soften them up a little bit, but good work. Still, a very simple one taken for TYLOO. Up to 9. 1 round in this, and TYLOO on this T side, looking and playing very, very well at the moment. And Spirit, actually, if we're being completely honest, they're looking a little bit flat, even in the gun rounds.
Yeah, there is a bit of personality missing for sure. And again, it maybe just comes down to the fact that they are playing their usual game. You know, nothing spicy being added into the mix. Nothing to make TYLOO worry. And I think CT side, it's maybe a bit more obvious that TYLOO are kind of different. But T side, they still have an unorthodox approach, right? And the way that they like to play their splits in particular. Seen it quite a lot on the B-bomb site, that the timings are just slightly different. And, you know, this guy's not afraid to run through a molly or start the hit when he's not actually got any sort of teammate support necessarily. You think that you throw that zoning Molotov and it's like they're not all that bothered, you know? You think you have that moment of respite, but it's not the case. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see something different from Spirit, but we're just not getting it.
No. Yeah, it's same thing over and over again and expecting change, and it's not happening. 50 seconds left to work with this for this one for TYLOO. So a decision still has to be made. Chopper's position in mid, it is worrying. And G will clear, will find. Chopper goes down now, got a call from the grave and an opener again for TYLOO. Something in these T-side rounds they've been very good at finding, but Shiro hits a quick shot of his own. Hits it, gets out. Still doesn't mean they won't commit though. They take mid-control, they're flying now. Zontics under a lot of pressure, gotta nail both and he can't. Mercury will catch him. And G finds yet another. Might go for 3. And Shiro gets pinned against the wall. What a shot by G. Leaving Dunkor alone in a 1 versus 3. And this youngster has pulled off some miraculous rounds in the past. But this one feels quite difficult. 1 versus 3. And he has 0 information about where they're playing. Angles cleared as he looks for just anything to work with, but there is nothing on offer. Spots Mosaic. That's good for the first. G only gets the tag, but thankfully Mercury will close. Huge round to take, and G is gone nuclear there.
Yeah, absolutely massive moment from him. I mean, you've got to ask the question, what the hell is going on? It all, for me, comes off the back of 1 missed shot from Shiro. Yeah. That shot right there, I think. No, maybe this one? I'm not sure. G does take him quickly, but there was definitely a missed shot in there somewhere where it felt like he had an opportunity to trade. They weren't looking at him, and yeah, he misses out. And ultimately, G capitalizes on the fact that, you know, he now has the information to work with. Really, really great look here. We do see a slightly frustrated M4 buy, I feel like. Donk has gone in for it. The rest of the team just down the middle.
Let's see if it can pan out. They're hoping for a bit of a hero in this one. I mean, Dog's having a bad game, let's be completely honest. 22 and 14, he's having a whale of a time. Actually just, you know, you've seen Zontics not step up in the way that you want to see from him. Magic's looking a little quiet comparatively to how he has in some other tournaments too. And yeah, difficult. 10-all, TYLOO. TYLOO on T side. We did forewarn that they're a little scary there. That's where they do a lot of their best work, and we are seeing it now. Chopper, that's brazen for me. Going alone, going dry as well. Feels unnecessary. Zontics pushes main, and G's there posted with the bomb, ready to hit that shot, and he's not going to miss it.
Donk. Oh, does go down pretty quickly. He's lost the support on the site as well. So that will be the round, and that will be TYLOO taking the lead here. That will be Spirit without a round in 7 now, I believe. So, yeah, absolutely wild business here. TYLOO have turned it around. They are dominating, and they are set to take this map.
Shiro can't hit the shot. An attacker will see him off. Nice work. This is wild from TYLOO. They are looking so solid. Spirit have fallen so unbelievably flat. This is now their 7th round in a row for TYLOO. And don't get drive-by a Tech9. That would tilt you. Deep breaths, Sunshine. Deep breaths. You'll be all right. But TYLOO 2 rounds away now from taking their map pick. I don't think many people expected that with where we once were. 8-4 half. Spirit come in. Start off well. You know, get up to a 10-4 scoreline. And now, yes, 7 in a row. Both sides now out of timeouts. But TYLOO looking to close this here and now in this map and continuing to prove just the level of TYLOO. Continuing to prove that, you know, every time teams sleep on them a little bit, they are able to step up to the fight. And they've been doing a very good job at punching up against top-level opponents. We saw it against Turn of Fire. We saw it against 3D Max. And we're now seeing it against Spirit. Win or lose on this map, they've proven sort of just how crisp individually they are. In particular, G. Cult hero status he's getting here at Pro League. And he's also putting up the numbers to back it. Oh, a tag on towards Chopper. A swing from Jam Young, but a miss. The nade will trade on towards Attacker.
Yeah, it's a pretty big find actually on that nade. Mosaic with the trade. He goes down to a nade also. Spirit just about keeping the advantage. Just about keeping a hold of the round. You see how many smokes there are on that site, right? TYLOO were very ready to go in for the hit, but they are kept at bay. Perfect utility usage. So they bail. And they will look to reapproach, it would seem, towards the A-bomb site, which does indeed make sense here. Nobody on the site itself. So what is the game plan? Slowly but surely moving forwards. I would have liked the A play. They've decided to pivot back towards B via water. And Shiro is here ready and waiting. So let's see, G. Oh, he's not going to get the chance, actually. He pulls away at the worst possible moment. 30 seconds left on the round. No opportunity for a frag. Shiro takes the safe angle, and it's smart. Easy find onto the first. G's got to clutch up. He lands the tag. He's now spotted 20 seconds and not a lot of options. Tech9 out, but it is not enough. Spirit find 11, and the game is back on. They finally break the curse.
Yeah, that's a big one. And I think it all starts with the positive trades in the early fight over towards B main, right? Where when we see first initial fight here, the nade that comes behind that trades Taka, and then they just use the numbers to their advantage. Even we can see it in that last fight. 1v3, they played together, they trade effectively. Well done. Spirit needed that. That's a round which was, at times, is still a little bit up in the air, but it's a good one to see over the line. It's going to reignite a bit of the confidence in this side. It's still a slightly awkward buy with a FAMAS and an MP9 coming through, but opening kills and positive trades are the small little incremental ways that Spirit can find success back in this, and a spam through a smoke to catch Attacker. It's also another way that you can get just a little bit of luck on your side and more damage towards Jam Young. Donk is not missing through this smoke.
Yeah, I mean, this is it, right? These are the moments where you want to be in that conversation as the GOAT of the game. You have to be stepping up when it matters, and you may well have let things get far too close for comfort. Far too close for expectations, but a big moment for him as he finds 2 nice and easy to potentially net the 12th for Spirit. Again, TYLOO are left to back off and try and reapproach. Didn't work for them in the previous round. They are once again looking pretty keen on Dark. G with the contact. Slowly making his way in, but Spirit just not giving the fights across. A little bit of a fake out towards A there to draw attention, and it may well work out. There is a flank coming in from Donk. He's moved pretty quickly, doesn't spot anyone. In the same vein, there's no one at mid. There's actually no follow-up on A, so yeah, they like the idea of the B hit. They're very ready for it, and Donk in towards B main is going to be a problem. I think they know that he's here. They've heard him running round, but all the same, he slows them down massively, makes them expend a smoke. They're so nervous to get into this site. There's only 10 seconds. You've got to go for it. Donk's going to drop that bomb through the smoke. Just about. Oh, no, I think that's crossed the timer, unfortunately. So they will move. They will save what they have, and Spirit might just pull off the heartbreak.
My God. Again, it comes right down to the wire there. It's such an uncomfortable round to watch happen in real time, but all that matters for Spirit, they get it over the line and now put themselves on map point. TYLOO aren't afraid of an overtime, though. We'll say that. We saw it in stage 1, and it could still be something brewing here to kickstart their stage 2. But Spirit might have just survived a real scare in this series. We assume that Nuke will be, for the most part, quite comfortable, but I might have broken that snowball effect that was really underway for TYLOO. Like we said, 7 rounds in a row before they were shut down. But it's 12-11 now. A slower start by TYLOO. They've lost a couple of players early in these rounds. Pretty brutal. G boosted up as he's going to keep coverage as they move in towards mid. For the most part, though, since it was failing in the early part where Chopper was wanting to fight in mid, they haven't actually been trying to reclaim that space. Jam Young going to get caught by Shiro. That's a fight he was going to lose every day of the week.
Oh, goodness. Oh, it's happening. It is happening, boys. Unraveling before our very eyes. TYLOO, so much work, so much effort. They can't figure it out. The very final hurdle, you know, they'd love an overtime at the very least. So, yeah, this is painful to watch. But we'll see. They, of course, still have decent numbers. Noise being made down in dark. B hit coming in. It's nice and telegraphed. You're going to have to hit those shots, fellas. 25 seconds left. A nade eaten on the way in. Molotov does not quite make it. Donk through the smoke finds one. Bomb plant just about coming in, but again, it's going to cost them so very much. Magix capitalizes and catches everybody off guard. Spirit with a perfectly mounted retake to close things out. 13-11. TYLOO was so damn close. They got 7 in a row. A fantastic effort, but it is not enough. And nobody, even themselves, is not going to remember the great effort of a fake failed comeback. They wanted to take this over the line and get the map, but it does not happen.
It's heartbreak, isn't it? It really is just heartbreak in the server for the side. I mean, you saw they had some, against FaZe. I mean, they have been picking up within the span of the last sort of 3 months, so tail end of 2024 into 2025. Super, super dominant, right? So all expectations for me is that we come in towards this second map, and it is Spirit who are able to dominate once again, but we'll have to wait and see. T-side start for them. TYLOO on the CT side. Get a pistol and start things off. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, something could start to come to fruition for TYLOO.
Yeah, a lot of attention paid to Mercury by Zoking there, I was noticing. So, you know, he maybe shoulders some of the blame for that first map. Hopefully not going to affect him too negatively into this here second. TYLOO giving a lot of space up. They got players posted downstairs. It is Attacker in the heaven angle. He's somewhat ready for something to come his way, but yeah, I think Spirit can't really believe the space they've been given. So much room to play with. Oh! Okay, nobody saw anything.
So out.
Doesn't matter. He just falls down. It's information given. Now they're like, okay, I guess we're going loud. Donk's already found the first head, though, so it looks decent. What the hell is going on? This pathing is a little crazy from Spirit, it feels like. Jam Young about to get caught. Down he goes. Numbers looking good. And it's a B hit via ramp, via hell. So strange, the movement here from Spirit, for sure. But as said a couple times, TYLOO just giving too much space, I think.
Yeah, this is mid-rounding to the max at the moment. And I think TYLOO were also probably as confused as we were, to be perfectly honest. Unfortunately for Attacker, this feels quite unlikely. He might get caught on the back lines, and he is by Chopper. And there's a couple more coming his way. Swing and a find. G now up close. USP versus Glock at close range. You always back the Glock, and Chopper does very well. 3 kills to his name. I mean, that round was won already, but Chopper makes sure of it. Spirit kickstart Nuke. Well, it was a really chaotic one. There was a weird split that comes through, but all that matters is the pistol round gets taken, and it does give Spirit the money to work with early in towards this game. I don't know if TYLOO want to be force buying here. Not really the kills to go off, and I think that they made the right decision. No investment. If you had got somebody who gets like 2 kills, I can maybe see where they go for like an MP9 or an M4, but in this case, there's just no point. Oh, one was spotted there by Donk. He'll relay that over. He spotted him just below heaven, but they get down.
You see some big news from today for the Oceania region. Talon Esports pulling out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Real
it's a break from competition.
It's tough, man. With VRS ranking these days, I can see why so many orgs are pulling back. I mean, it's just unachievable to sort of have these fairy tale runs and to, you know, climb the ranks in a sense these days if it's all about prize pool. So it's really unfortunate, but it's a shame they're only around since like, what was it, like August last year? So
yeah, not ages. I think unfortunately
only like 6 months or whatever. Yeah,
they picked up the roster, and I think they wanted that major qualification, right, to get in on the stickers, and that would have bought like a lot more time.
Yes, yeah.
For the organization. So I feel like since then they've maybe been putting the team on a bit of a timer. You know, because this is a decent team that I feel would be demanding a decent amount of money. You know what I mean? So it's obviously going to have an effect, but it's a bit of a shame. We lost Endpoint, of course, in the UK scene from a CS perspective, at least. And I'm sure they'll be back, like, if things change a little bit, and we obviously have a push for, like, can we get ranking in as many places as possible, right? Like, open qualifiers and stuff like this, even. So we'll see if those types of changes come in. I think Talon is something similar, right? They were an org that came back into the scene when they picked that team up. So I think they want to make it work, but you have to be very careful, right? To not just overstretch yourself and lose all your money, and then you can never come back because you have to, I don't know, declare bankruptcy or whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly. Unfortunately, it's just Counter-Strike at the moment. It's very, very good if you're at this top level, right? That's for sure. You get, you know, guaranteed invites, tournament upon tournament, but unfortunately, if you're outside of it, especially if you're outside of like the upper echelons of tier 2, it's brutal. If you're anywhere like below top 50, like even like we've seen it recently, very good examples, Paravision, right? That team is cooking. They're so fun to watch. The new team with James, Kicker, they look really fun. Belchnock, Nota as well. I mean, this is a sick team with, you know, young talent or Belchnock and Nota with the experienced heads, Travis as well. But because they're a new team, they're starting from unranked and trying to get anywhere inside of the top 50. It's taken a real age for them to be considered one of the better teams, ranking-wise, that is. I say it. Sees 2, gets 1, 1 being the bomb as well. That drags Chopper's attention away. Oh my. He just didn't clear back box. I don't blame them. It's very rare that you see somebody just sitting there. G gets caught on the swing by Zontix. With Donk finding a kill, it's a 2 versus 3, but it's just with how low Zontix is, it does worry you. And of course, it doesn't help that the bomb is in quite literally no man's land. The time gone, and they're going to save. They're calling it. I don't blame them. Unfortunately for them, in this spot, they maybe had a minute to work with. We could talk about trying to isolate fights, but not to be here. TYLOO going to find their first round on the first gun round, which is good to see. And it all comes from a wild little 1-2 setup. Back box on ramp, which is very rarely held and not peaked on contact. And then a player up towards top ramp as well who wanted to fight and catch Chopper right there. Simple work.
Very large. And exactly what the doctor ordered for TYLOO, of course. They need to have some presence early on in the game, but it's always going to be a challenge against the likes of Spirit. What does the response look like, I suppose, is the big question now. Chopper takes a fair bit of damage for this cross. It was right at the end of that Molotov, so kind of the max. Oh, and the nade is nice also. So far, he's been tanking all the damage in this round, but they managed to get players down below into secret really, really fast. So TYLOO are going to have to deal with that. How much of the information did they gather? It is a tough round of questions for TYLOO right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Messiah, jump peak of information. Minute 10. Molotov will come down, so that'll force them away briefly. And they'll just close that door. You don't have to commit to fighting there. A lot of teams would want to try and keep a little bit of stairs presence in that situation to catch them on the cross. But I don't mind this either. You dip away. You play time, and you just won a previous round on time, so why not do it again? Under a minute now, 45 seconds as we're starting to move back in towards B. But it does feel at the same time that Spirit aren't completely committed, and that'll be evident with G catching Chopper on the late lurk.
Eventually, felt like he was going to go down at some point, but it's a quick old burst in through single. Donk activates, and he flattens them. Will eventually get taken down. So it's still a 3 versus 3. Zontix with a big one upstairs, however. Magic's trying to stay alive. Doesn't happen for him. The remaining 2 Ts are pretty far away from the bomb, it has to be said. Mercury goes hunting, and Shiro gets the timing on him. G going crazy, but can't get it done. And Spirit will take the round, just never getting their claws in on the TYLOO side. And of course, it is the Donk double to really turn that round upside down.
Yeah, just another Donk masterclass. I mean, first shot's great. It's his second one. It's so crisp onto Jamyoung. He has no time to react there at all. Really, really well done. What can you do if you're TYLOO in that instance? Just a couple of individuals that step up in such a big way. And doesn't even seem happy with himself. He wanted the third, but Team Spirit call for their first timeout. Then they used 3 timeouts, all 3 of their timeouts, very, very early in that previous map. And there was a point, especially when TYLOO had put, 7 rounds in a row, that you were thinking, if you just had a timeout left over at this point, you'd be okay. But it's something that, Hallie's seen, for example, and he wants to make sure he stamps it out here and now. I can understand that. TYLOO doesn't seem like they're too pressured right now. Still a couple of smiles, but this round not going to amount to all too much, expectedly at the very least. M4, 157. A little bit of utility. Spirit should walk away with a pretty simple forfeit.
Yeah, you would expect so. Maybe some damage on the cards. Jamyoung is looking to be that guy. Always a weird kind of situation. I don't know what you really do with those, like, saving of the M4 type vibes. To be honest, like,
yeah,
how do you make it work as a game plan? I like what Jamyoung's doing though. Get aggressive, no holds barred. He will be traded out, but at the very least, he's put the panic into them a little bit. Maybe a pistol can thread in here, but before I even get the words out, they're all dead.
Jose will get one with the USP, another tag as well, but see, not by Shiro. Zontix was going for that quick flank, just in case it was a little bit precarious, but all in all, pretty good. Spirit had to walk away with a clean one, and for the most part, it is pretty clean. Only a couple of casualties. Here's one of those questions, though. In that situation, when you've got all pistols, 1 M4, how do you go about it? Do you use the pistols as like human flashbangs a little bit and play as a pack, or do you try and default it and hope that the rifle can nail a couple of kills early so there's guns to be scooped up? It's a tough way to go about it. And of course, against Spirit, they're just very unlikely to make cataclysmic errors like that. I'm a little worried for TYLOO. This lead's starting to get extensive. This round's actually really important. You lose this and we're in a lot of trouble here.
Mosaic, brave, nearly finds one, but not quite. So those 2 players gonna think about moving downstairs. Lots of different options at the moment for Spirit, thanks to that opener. G is looking to just cover The angles, not going to go too deep in for it. Again, does not want to lose his life, otherwise round will be over. But you can see Spirit, they find the first, and then they're happy to just sit around, wind the clock down, and hope to catch another player, in fact. Donk does go down, expected on low HP. Attacker with the off angle here, traded out. It's Mercury, though, big find. That's the bomb, mind you. Shiro and Magic's not really with each other to get those trades in. Down to the 2 versus 2 now.
Tough spot, that's for sure. 30 seconds. Bomb needs to go down. Mercury on a late rotate all the way around. So Bomb's in a very recoverable spot, but they're doing a lot of due diligence just in case. But it has given time for Mercury to wrap. Now he's got Heaven control. Where are we actually going here? 10 seconds down towards B, but that's where G is. Finds the first. He's trying to run away, and he will. No time, surely. 5 seconds, and that's it. Time gone. Shiro can't do anything at the end. He will get the AWP, and that's a silver lining. But it's TYLOO who find the round. So they'll be happy about that. The only issue is, though, Scriv, because it's so expensive, it will still hurt the economy of TYLOO.
It is true, and it is something to consider. Spirit will certainly be thinking about that. But TYLOO, I think, look, money is one thing, but they can match up, right? They can clutch up in those tight moments, and that's, again, going to be a really big factor against Spirit if you are looking to bring things super close. This opening matchup, never expected to go your way, but if you really make Spirit sweat, I think you're very, very happy with that for sure. Jam Young has picked up the confidence in the past few rounds. Crazy move forwards there, and he is unpunished thus far.
Yeah, so far so good, right? I think for TYLOO, starting to prove to themselves a little bit. Sontics out the gates feels a little bit more impactful than he did in towards Anubis. But we still need more from him. Shiro, how in God's name has he got away with that? Mercury gets caught on the flick, but surely Mosaic gets overlooked. No, not by Donk. Clears everything and does it with ease as well. I can't believe he expects a second player there. A lot of people will overlook that angle. Jam Young, up close, wants to fight. Needs to be careful at single doors and now gets opened up. Gonna fight through the flames and he'll get the shot. Okay. What a one to find. And Donk also gets deleted as well. Jam Young, at one point, was seen, at least domestically, as a similar style of player to Donk. So mechanically gifted and happy to fight, and that's why.
Oh, Shiro trying to guess the right side. Somehow manages to make it in. A lot of noise being made. Attacker, of course, is slowly on the way. Can't deny the bomb plant, but will take down the planter and win the round. So TYLOO, couple in a row here. Spirit struggling to figure it out. Maybe a timeout once again on the cards. Bit of nervousness, G, with the biting of the nails. But yeah, Jam Young looking so good, bro. And I think he was certainly the player that on this team people maybe thought could humble Spirit, could humble Donk. He definitely did it in the previous round.
He had a fantastic stage one, didn't he? It's a big round, though. It really is. Super important. So much pressure being put onto this Spirit side, and they're actually making quite a few unwarranted errors, right? They're a side who generally are pretty clean. Now, some of these errors that they're making, a lot of them coming down to time as well. Uncle swing out. He's still alive. Bomb on his back. Oh, uh-oh. Donk is here. Donk is very much present. At 3K with a Deagle. What is happening? Donk goes back for more. He's hungry. And Donk's hitting shots. Can't find G, but he might have done enough to win the round. How in God's name has Donk got away with this?
I'm sure that is not the first time that question has been asked. Shiro will close it out, but yeah, absolutely magical round.
I have to see that from his POV. I have to.
Crazy.
I hope we have all the kills from his POV because, oh my God, some of them look so quick. Oh my God.
That is ridiculous.
So nuts. Oh my God, that is ridiculous. What a player, man. Just another day at the office for him.
Yeah, literally
Yeah,
that kind of vibe. He's like, all right, cool. I guess I win those. I guess I hit those.
That's
Craziness.
crazy. That is wild.
We do have the time out here, though, so they're willing to talk things over still. And although they hold on to their lead and get the unlikely round, it's definitely stressful for the next few. That being said, we start to get into the territory of, like, you know, 5, probably 6 rounds on the T side of Nuke. It's pretty nice, actually.
It's true. It's true. Interesting as well, though. I feel like for Spirit, they also realize that too, because they are putting a lot of pressure in towards these early rounds, and a lot of sort of owners, especially we can see with the TAC timeouts, about how much they have to make this first half go well for themselves. I think generally speaking as well, Spirit have very good CT side protocols. So they just want to make sure that they can get what is slightly more scrappier and unorthodox at times, get this T side over the line, and then we're chilling. Krieg gonna take a tag through the smoke. He's trying to lurk around it. The slow bite. Even if TYLOO do some things a little funky, I'm not expecting a lot. And sure gets the first. Mercury will get a fadeaway shot, though.
Hey, anything is good in a round like this. I got an old friend out there, shout out Seaside one time. I'm not sure if he's watching, Keith Fortune. He used to love throwing down the old any damage is good damage.
There we go.
In a round like this. So, you know, just got to shout out. He's been lost in the source of Valorant, of course. So, you know, you do indeed. But it does happen. It does happen. But yeah, I know he's out there in spirit somewhere. Or not in the team, but like
I'm gonna say
in the ether.
Spirit.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah,
behind the scenes, pulling all the cogs. But it's 2 remaining. It's just it's two USBs there. We're not expecting really anything. But Spirit up to 6. This is actually a pretty good position that they're in now. 6 rounds T side. I think I'm pretty happy with it. They should be pretty happy with it. TYLOO should be pretty concerned about what's happening. This could be very similar to the first half, to what we saw on Anubis, like 8-4, right? But I think it's more damning if it's 8-4 T-side Nuke more than anything.
What a wild round to save in, bros.
Yeah, like what's the point? I guess it's like KD. Mosea's 2-7. He doesn't want to let it get any worse, so I kind of respect it.
True. I also think when you're at like the peak of competition, it is a little bit like, oh, we don't want to give them anything. 3 kills. It's kind of annoying. Kill bonus is in there. It's generally, you know, a minuscule effect, especially when they are pretty economically comfortable. But I don't know, man. It just feels a bit wet, you know. Just get in there and try and frag them out or whatever.
Yeah,
take a gun away. I feel like it's more annoying to die to a USB than it is to be like, oh, I guess they're saving, you know.
Yeah. Jam Young, we clear this. Not well enough. Magic knows a second here as well. Swing. Oh, and a tag both ways, but more so on towards Magic's. And gee, would you get that smoke down? Still, though, an opener for Spirit. And again, it's something they like to do. Call an opener, call a freeze. Just wait.
Yeah. And these are the kinds of rounds that they tend to convert very consistently, I would say. It is somewhat problematic for TYLOO. They like an early fight. They like an early move. But as soon as they lose a player, I'm sure those odds of the Spirit round win go up quite substantially. And now you can see TYLOO somewhat desperate to get that return frag and even up the numbers, but Spirit are just not giving it at all. Chopper's the only player in a dangerous position. He will go down. Quick flash on the ramp is, you know, not really going to do too much. So this is actually not looking bad at all for TYLOO. Shiro deals with G. But we're a bit more back on. That first pickup, not quite as impactful in this round as they would have hoped.
Yeah. Swing and miss on 6. Oh my god, we needed that one. We needed that one big time. Thankfully, we're down towards B, but Mercury's also here to meet them. 15 seconds, we gotta go, fellas. Swing and a fine on Shiro. Can't deliver. On towards Don because he's thrust into a 1 versus 2. 8 seconds, bomb has to go down. Tap and he doesn't stick it. That's gotta be that Glock in hand. No chance for Donk at the end there. Just not enough time. TYLOO stay alive in this map and in this first half in particular.
Yeah, that's not really ideal. I mean, I bigged up the 5v4 early on, and they let it slip.
Yeah.
So it is kind of that one there, I think, that really makes the difference. Zontix was in prime position. He wasn't even really looking. It's a flick across. So, 4th round for TYLOO. Out of the territory of super, super scary, but still not the best looking CT side quite yet. Bit of room to maneuver. If they can find 5 or 6, I think they'll be quietly satisfied. Again, though, early opener goes the way of Spirit.
Saya finds Donk. Nice shot. Sure, still up close, though. Do you sort of back the AK because he's trying to bail out the shot? Oh, Magic's there to keep Shiro alive. Jamyung's in between 3 here. Surely somebody's got to clear him. They won't expect it, but surely he gets traded. Yeah, Chopper spots him out. There we go. So the only thing is Heaven being held? Yeah, it is. Oh, and how did the Chopper get away with that? Shiro will find Jamyung. They knew where he was, but Chopper never should be alive there. Heaven was being held.
Mercury, a battle for survival. Oh, he's spotted and down he goes. So Spirit doing a good job of immediately returning things. Now moving up to 7, I think puts you in a great spot for a T side. And they should be able, in that second half, to close things out from here on in. It's still not smooth sailing, and they are really grinding these rounds out, I have to say. But it's working.
I think more so than many people would have expected. They're actually being made to work for these rounds. And that's where you got to give credit to TYLOO. Fair play. At least there's something here. Their first time out going to be called. But money's a little worse for wear heading in towards this final round. A scout, a few upgraded pistols, feels unlikely. So we could be getting this 8-4 again. Spirit. It's not exactly been the easiest of roads compared to them being a #1 seed versus the lowest seed. I think maybe for a start of a tournament in a studio stage sort of like this, you kind of just say to yourself, a win's a win, right? That's all that matters. That's what we'll take. I should get an 8 there too. Like we said, Scout and a few upgraded pistols. They're hoping for a lot of heavy lifting here by G or somebody, maybe Jamyung and that Deagle, to pop a couple of heads. You know he's had some crispy moments, but this is feeling super unlikely.
Yeah, one would assume so. One would definitely assume so. But again, it's just so slow. Spirit are really not giving anything early on. In the same vein, though, every time TYLOO try and speed up a round, it has cost them like that first kill. And if it costs them 2, then the round is pretty much over. So they've also maybe been thwarted and forced to slow down.
Jamyung avoids the molly and the flash. It's not a commitment by Spirit. Still, smoke down door. Magic's waiting. They're so expecting a lobby crunch here on the TYLOO side. With 40 seconds left. A couple of these rounds they've left quite late, and it has been concerning. We said Jamyung can hit some heads, and he does. Gets a Molotov too, and an AK picked up, and he just wants to keep ramp control now.
Gonna aim to keep it. G up at Heaven has an opportunity to maybe find a kill outside, although that window is closing. Oh, yikes. Mosea tries to get up. Not going to happen for him. G goes down. Chopper in at Heaven has got the perfect spot. They will not be expecting him at all. Oh, yikes. Jamyung comes up behind him. It has fallen quickly. Oh, my goodness. It seems TYLOO on the cards to steal around here. No time for Shiro to get into the site. And the squeeze comes in at a very awkward spot. That is comical. Don't think we've seen that in a long, long time. The end of the half with a T-side player surviving. But all the same, 7-5, still really comfortable for Spirit. In the same vein, TYLOO not out of it just yet.
They've just still got a couple of tricks up their sleeve, a couple of moments where you say, maybe then we're not dead just yet. We saw this in map number 1, what, you know, was ultimately a bit of a cosmetic comeback, but you see it here at times with TYLOO and you start to think to yourself, like, there is something brewing here. They still are making this Spirit side feel uncomfortable, and that's where actually this belief that, you know, TYLOO, even though they come in as the lowest seeded team, and they are actually the lowest seeded by a lot of the other teams themselves, never mind just the VRS ranking, but they're scary. We'll have to see whether that can continue, though, after the little halftime break. We'll see you soon.
Some life left in the old dog yet. TYLOO with a nice round to close things out. Maybe not the best CT side out from them. Still some enjoyment here as they know this is going to be a tough ride against Spirit. An absolute slog in that first half. Some very, very drawn out rounds that Spirit pull through. But I think they'll be really happy. You know, 7 out of your T side is incredibly, incredibly good stuff. And they set themselves up with a pistol. It's kind of game over. That being said, I think these rifle rounds are going to be hard for TYLOO.
I think you're right. Let's see. Oh, that's a good start. Oh, hello. We are so back, baby. Jamiel and Jose will hit shots of their own. Mercury actually keeps himself alive. We're in a 2 versus 2. The chaos ensues still in this series. Yes, long may it continue. Definitely what we are here for. 2 versus 2. Bombs spilled. Sontic's got the right. Magic's got the left. Let's see what they're able to find. Sontic's with the quick shot. Leaves it all down to Mosea. P250 raid boss. Hey, we're leaning on him. He's already found one. He's looking for a bit more. He's going to give that bomb up. He's got a minute to play with here. Crack angle taken. Can't quite find the head.
Magic's closing the gap as well. Oh, really well thread of the needle. They will give their position away, but he's just not expecting both to have closed him down so quickly. And the pistol goes the way of Spirit.
Carnage, though, right? It wasn't exactly without us having to sort of hold our breath for a moment, especially when Mercury finds a kill towards our side, just on the edge of that main smoke. Wild one. That one right there. That was where it thrust it back into a doable position. But well played for Spirit. They stick together. They just don't play any gambles in that one. So not expecting a lot from TYLOO here. I think at some point we can probably have a little delve in towards some of the mail. But for those who don't know, it's EPL mailbag at efg.gg. If you want to send us some mail, we'll read it out at times. With a few decent ones in towards stage 1. People sending their pets, asking us what animal we'd like to be, that kind of stuff. We can go through those.
The conversation started, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Then obviously we'll bring you guys in Twitch chat into our conversation as well. So, you know, it happens. But at least for now, this is what we like to call an existence timeout. You call attack pause without actually calling attack pause. You just chill out. You don't fight. You have a moment to converse. What are we going to do in towards the next gun round? What is the plan? What's the play? And we'll go with that. Of course, it means we have to whittle down the seconds here.
It is true. These are, you might call it an existence timeout. This is what I call nap time.
Yeah, big time. G likes a nap. We saw it in...
Yeah, I did see that in one of the texts. You know. Oh. NT, bro. NT. Jam Young tries to get down. Not a chance. So, an easy mow down here, as you would expect. Dink lands. Magisk. Oh, he does make it away. Can he survive? Yes, he does. Okay, so no damage done by TYLOO. This is the big round, though. If they can't get this one on the board, I think that Spirit will just slowly edge this game to the victory.
Oh, well, let's see what this existence timeout really came up with, right? Let's see what we spent all this time deliberating, discussing. What has come from it? Because if it's nothing, that'll be in itself kind of hilarious. This gun round is very important, though, for TYLOO. You lose this, and honestly, probably the series then becomes in jeopardy. Especially considering it's a bit of a bonus bar on the flip side. We've got an MP9 in play for Chopper. And the guns just kept alive from rounds prior. Nades break open the smoke, nobody behind it. TYLOO try the setting. For what in the early onset feels like they want to go for an A kind of split in via mid, right? They can get a bit of mid control and then start to pressure A with late lobby control as well. We can start putting some pressure on those ideas. The outside to B moves, very popular by Spirit. When we see them for TYLOO, they get shut down quite quickly. But something they did. We saw it in the pistol round. They like taking outside control, garage, start wrapping in towards heaven and hell, and start making those sort of movements. And could be more of the same. Here we go, dropping down. But we want to go for main control, and Jam Young going to fight for this.
Son 6 spamming away. However, not able to find anything. Oh, Jam Young keen fine. Looking for the double. He's so close, but denied. Slim advantage at the moment for Spirit, so it hangs by a thread. It's Shiro here with the AWP that is big and scary. However, they know that he's around. They know how well he's been playing, but they seem unafraid. They would be unwise. A thin line between courage and stupidity, of course. Bomb going to go down at that sacrifice of a player. 4 versus 2 now. G looking to get involved. A bit of a weaker game out from him, unfortunately, here on Nuke. First comes in, second for Mercury. And G not letting up. Zontix is incredibly low here. Shadow spotted. It's easy. G on the transfer. And GG indeed. He will be shouting high. A big round comes in. He's loving it.
I love him. He's so cool. He's so cool. What a round as well. Like you said, he's actually been having a bit of a quiet one. But my God, that is nuts. Isolating fight to these. The transfer for the last is sumptuous too. Boom. And howls down the spray. Lovely stuff. Tuck. Perplexed to that one.
I think we all are a little bit, you know, you see a spray down like that, it's like, fair enough, bro. How has he managed
You just got to NT that one a little bit, don't you? Just like,
yeah.
All right, that fair's like, what can I do actually in that one? Zontix, what can you do, my friend? Good for the first and for the second. Looking for the third. Damage down towards Mercury. And Shiro goes through the flames. Second M4 picked up. That one's also got 2 bullets. So goes for the third gun. That one's got 24. So we're okay. And he was just past the parcel with the rifles. One of them had enough ammo for him to fight. He didn't want to risk the reload. And Mosaic down on towards the sides. On the flank, Chopper. Good clearance, making sure, and I think unfortunately for G, this one will just be an early save.
I love that we both look towards the ammo, though, that it's like, that M4's definitely been fired a lot as well. So hopefully he notices or someone mentions it or whatever. But yeah, Zontix nearly got 3 kills with that thing, so there can't really be any ammo remaining. But yeah, tough rounds. We have a bit of fun with it. TYLOO, not going to be the case. From, well, great to grit, I suppose, as they have unfortunately had the big clutch and then the big flop in this follow-up round. G waiting. And they are after him. What he doesn't know is they are waiting down the clock to try and kill him after time. So this is mean from Spirit. This is really, really mean. But they are going to move in as it winds down. They'll take him in the end. Okay, so he does get his loss bonus, but he does not get to survive.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I feel like if you're going to wait that long, just wait until it's half the time.
Yeah, there's only like 5 seconds left.
Yeah,
you know,
and you've got what?
As well,
is it about like 2.5, 3 seconds, like right at the end of like round time? It's probably enough to close down the gap and get round the corner. But who am I, right? Damage is dealt, and they do get the kill. 10-6 though. Time dwindling for TYLOO in this one. Spirit are getting closer and closer to the 2-0. Not that it's been, you know, one-sided by any means, as a lot of people would have expected. I think a lot of people came in thinking that this was going to be sort of a one-sided affair, and Spirit are just going to waltz through it. TYLOO have kept them on their toes. But still, I think the big thing, the macro pictures, people look back at it and say, Spirit 2-0, yeah, expected. They won't look into the, you know, the details, right? And say, oh, damn, like that map number 1 was seriously close. They actually could have taken that to overtime. They could have maybe even had a discussion about winning it at one point. And Nuke's had this moment too. Mercury will not get down. They've done a very good job of holding that and making sure that there's no coverage, no early vent control. And the bomb spills forward too. They're slow by round, unfortunately just getting put to bed pretty simply. Nate, I'd even see off Mosaic.
Yeah, it's got to be a really sucky feeling that it's like you've just lost to a 4 spy, then you go for your own, and it's like you just get flattened, and it's, you know, you want to be competitive where they've been competitive in a low buy round as well. So the fact that you just get flattened, it's like, okay, I guess we are maybe not quite the team we expected to be today.
Okay. Pause to be called, the third and final for TYLOO. Tricky spot for them, man. They are running out of time here. And unfortunately, it's just felt, it's all pretty plain sailing, I think, is sort of the main thing. It's tough. I don't really even know what TYLOO can do differently in this sort of situation to actually get back in towards the game. It feels like they've tried to go aggressive, getting shut down. They've tried to be a little bit more passive towards the sides. Same sort of thing, or a little bit more passive in terms of slowing things down and trying to force Spirit a little bit further back and play those long style of T-side rounds. That Spirit did, right? We saw that in that first half. Spirit would grind down the clock a little bit. And TYLOO have tried to sort of fight fire with fire in that sense. It just doesn't work. Spirit are so happy to play that long, drawn-out style.
Yeah, war of attrition kind of vibe. And it is, again, difficult to deal with when you're down on rounds and they're just not giving you much of a face. You try and get in theirs, but Chopper is here for the trades. Sacrifices made to make these kills happen. Still a 3 versus 3. Donk up top here. looking, gagging for a fight. Nothing quite presenting just yet, but surely there is something right around the corner for him. TYLOO taking a leaf here and playing things very slowly themselves now that they have managed to even it out after the carnage. Yeah, there it is. He was lurking in the depths, ready to go. Can't quite get the second. Bites off a bit too much. So 2 versus 2 back on.
Maybe here. Zontic's playing behind this door, and it opens, and he spots nothing behind it. He has got his back covered towards singles, just in case. Honestly, even going 1 for 1 here could be enough, but they're actually pulling away from him, back towards Magix. They go in through vent and back out towards single door. My God, time ticking, we got to go. Oh,
Zontix.
Well done.
Just
well
so
done.
ready.
I love the little reposition, I got to say as well. You know, he's playing with his back sort of off the single door and hard focus on double door. And he realizes when nobody's peeking, they're doing something here. It's either a vent play or they're completely pulling away back towards A. And yeah, he just positions himself. The only place left I have to really think about is that single door. And because it's closed, I can react to it. So well done.
Looking game, set, and match here then. Keen competition on the first map. Not the case here. TYLOO, not enough out from their CT side, and their T side also never really got going. Shiro with the wrist breaker. That is quick. Will net the first, and TYLOO once again have to play from the back foot.
Yeah, it's true. It's just been a classic case for them. Jam Young gonna get caught by Donk. He heard him drop down, but he didn't see him fight, so he knows he's trying to wrap over towards Hell. And Donk makes sure he gets no coverage in that sense. 3 versus 5. I feel like this one is done here, unfortunately. This would be a miraculous round to recover from, especially with a Tech 9 and 2 Galils.
Stranger things have happened in the world of Counter-Strike. They break into the site, should get the bomb down. Relatively scot-free. Why are they nervous, man? They're nervous to get in there with the bomb. And I think that is indeed going to be your downfall. Donk drops another as well as that bomb, so still no plant here. Pressure is on Mosaic up close. Can't get his crosshair corrected. Down goes G just after planting. And that will be the end for TYLOO in this matchup. Donk's gone, mate. Feet, bro. He's got somewhere else to be.
Sod this, mate. I want to go home.
Gracious.
He doesn't give a damn. He is immediately up. He's dead, and he's like, yeah, nah, I'll be fine. But honestly, a really, really